Okay, so today we are going to understand how exactly like people try to get data from any big data storage into our Snowflake data warehouse. Now, for all the people who are seeing Snowflake for the first point of time, so Snowflake is a cloud-based data platform. So today, like if you people have learned SQL, you must have worked on databases. Now, databases, as you know, are mostly for structured data, or you can say tabular data, and that too also for a limited storage. The databases that you have learned, like SQL, PostgreSQL, Oracle, Microsoft SQL Server, all those things that you have learned till now, those are databases, and those are mostly transactional databases. When I say transactional databases, so I mean to say that they are for a limited storage and they are mostly for the data that we use in real time. So all the data that we use in real time, that is mostly kept in transactional databases like SQL, MySQL Server, and they have limited capacity. So you cannot have a lot amount of data in them. If you will have a lot amount of data within them, they will mostly fail. So today, every company that is working with big data, they are working with a new concept of data warehouse. Now, what exactly a data warehouse is? So let's say if you have a company which is very big company, let's say very big company, and in that company, let's the company is Amazon. Now, as you know that Amazon is having 3 million transactions per day. So 3 million people are going and shopping on Amazon, and there are 3 million transactions every day. Now, in these 3 million transactions, what you can have is like you can have unstructured kind of data. You have unstructured kind of data like a particular picture of the product that you have got. You have uploaded it on your Amazon account and you have written a review. Or it can be a voice data, it can be a video related data. So all that data is unstructured data. And we have structured data also, like data in the form of tables, and we have semi-structured data as well. So today companies which are big data companies or who are hiring you for data analyst or data engineering role, all these companies are working in these three kind of data. Now to store these three kinds of data or to store this big data, these company need a data warehouse. So now data warehouse is a kind of a solution which will help company to analyze their data, to store their data, and to manage their data. When I say these three things like manage data, comma, store data, comma, analyze data. So these are the three most important things that today companies are doing. And for doing these things and to get a better infrastructure, or you can say to get a kind of a service which can help them to do all these things without a lot of hassle. So for that purpose, they use something which is known as data warehouse. And now our data warehouse that we are going to understand today and the class that is based on Snowflake. So Snowflake is a data warehouse. Now this Snowflake gives you data warehouse, like data warehouse things. But the actual storage or the cloud on which this Snowflake works. So this is a cloud-based platform solution. It's a cloud-based Snowflake platform solution. Now, to work with this Snowflake, you need to have any of these three clouds, either AWS or Azure or GCP. So once you will create an account, it will ask you that which of the account you want to use. So you can select any of these three. So now your Snowflake service will be built on top of this. And these will be your storages. And now from these storages, you will create your tables, and on those tables, you can work with the help of SQL. So the good thing about data warehouse is this, that if your data is coming in any of these three formats, it's fine. But once it will be stored in the form of a table or a schema or a database inside your data warehouse, then you can easily query it with the help of SQL. So that is the basic idea of a data warehouse. See, there are multiple other things that you need to understand about data warehouse, but I cannot complete everything in this session. So that's why I'm just giving you a brief idea. Now let's quickly try and make our Snowflake account. So I have my Snowflake account already with me, but if you want to make a Snowflake account, then simply what you have to do is you have to go on your Google and you have to write Snowflake. And try to be little quick because the session is only for 1 hour. So once you will write Snowflake, you will get Snowflake AI Data Cloud. Click here and you will get an option of start for free. Click on start for free. Once you'll click on start for free, it will ask you your first name. So I will put my first name as Durgesh, last name as Yadav, and I will put my email address, and I will write here professional personal learning and development. And I will click on continue. Once I will click on continue, you can write the company name as personal, job title as data engineer or data analyst, any of these, and choose your Snowflake edition. So enterprise most popular is correct. You don't have to do anything. And out of these three cloud providers, you can select AWS. So if you see, I have selected AWS. And the region also you have to select. So I will select a region which will be, I will be selecting a region which is US East, North Virginia, US East. Now the service that I will be getting on Snowflake, which is my data warehouse, that will be based on a region which is US East, North Virginia. So in North Virginia, there must be some setup done for our storage and for our data. So let's say this particular region we are trying to connect with AWS. So now what will happen in that particular region, the data center that will be there, that will help to cater my IP address so that I can work. No need to understand a lot about region, just click on get started. Once you'll click on get started, it will ask you some of the things. So I will select the bridges and I will click on verify. Now it is asking me buses, so I will select the buses. Now it will ask me what will you use Snowflake for. So I will be writing any of these three, four I will select and I will click on continue. Now I will be selecting languages as Python, SQL, Scala, Java, other, and I will click on submit. Once I will click on submit, I will get a kind of pop-up like this. Now I'll be going to my Gmail and I will be checking the mail. So if you are not seeing it, then you can see it in spam. So go to your spam folder and you will get an email like this. Activate your Snowflake account. And you simply have to click on click to activate. Once you will click on click to activate, so it will ask you, welcome to Snowflake, and give your username and password. Let's say username I will give as my first my first class. My first class, and the password that I will give will be any password that you can have. Like it's up to you. So you can give a password that you can remember, otherwise you can save it. So I will click on this and I'll click on get started. Once I will click on get started, so I will save this particular thing, the ID password, and that's how my Snowflake dashboard will look like. Is everybody on the same page? So now I have a Snowflake data warehouse, which looks mostly like a database only, but data warehouse is much different. Here you can do analytics, here you can do dashboarding, here you can monitor your resources like how much RAM you are using, how much CPU you are using, how much things you are using. Here you can have pay as you go. So if you are using Snowflake as a service, you can pay only for the things that you are doing here. Here you get lot of security. Here you can do AI and ML as well. Here you can write and here you can build your pipelines also. So multiple things that this Snowflake is offering us. So now the people who are not aware about cloud and all, this will be little difficult for you to understand. But yeah, this is our Snowflake data warehouse platform. Okay. Now Snowflake is fine. We have a Snowflake, but our data, let's say our data is sitting in a external storage. So let's take an example. So let's say we have a AWS account, and in AWS account, there is something known as S3. So S3 is basically a simple storage service. So why it is named as S3? Because it is simple storage service. Now in this simple storage service, you can have your structured, semi-structured, and unstructured data. So in this service, you can have your structured, semi-structured, and unstructured data, and you can store all these three kinds of data here. And now let's say in this S3 service only, let's say in this S3 service only, I have created a bucket. So bucket is basically a kind of a, you can say, resemblance of a particular location where your data is stored. So let's say I have created a bucket and the bucket name is, let's say, X bucket. And inside this X bucket, let's say I have my CSV file. And this particular CSV file is can be any CSV file. So in our case, it will be blinkit.csv, and I will share you the file also. And this file, we will try to load it into Snowflake. So our storage is S3 location. This is the external location. This is the external location, a external storage or external file. And I want to sync this external storage into my Snowflake account. And I want to create a Blinkit table in my Snowflake. So if you see, the data sits in external location, but I want to create a warehouse, or sorry, I want to create a table for this data into my Snowflake account. So this is my task for today's class. Okay, for this, I will go and I will simply try to log in to my AWS console, which is my cloud. So I'll click on sign into console. So if you people have not created a AWS account, you people can simply go to YouTube and you can check how to create a AWS account. It is very simple. So I have already created the account. So I will click on sign in using root user email. So I will click here. You will also get this root user email and password when you will create your own AWS account. So I will be selecting my email address. I will be clicking on next. And the root email address and the root things are basically of the admin who has created the account. So if you have created the account, then you will be the root person. Okay, so now I will be writing this. And I will simply clicking on I'm not a robot, and I will be putting my password. So this is how I will be opening and I will be in my AWS console. So if you see here what the region is, the region is US East. And when I have created the Snowflake, I have selected the same region. So I will select you whenever you want to set up a connection between Snowflake and AWS, then try to use the same region in both of them. It is only for when you want to, let's say, create a automation pipeline, then every day when data comes into Snowflake, sorry, every day when the data is coming into the my S3 bucket, I want to load it into my table. So if you want this automation process, then for that process to create a kind of simple notification service which will help you to upload your data into the Snowflake table whenever it arrives in your S3 bucket. So for that reason, you need to have the same region in both of the accounts. So now if you see, we are done. Now the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to open S3 service. So as you will type S3, you will be able to see this page. Now in this page, I am going to create a new bucket. So I am going to create a bucket. And in this bucket, I will be loading my files. So once you will click on create bucket, you have to select general purpose, and I will give the bucket name as Snowflake, Snowflake Data Pipeline. So this is my bucket name, Snowflake Data Pipeline. And I will not check anything, and I will simply click on create bucket. Okay, so this name already exists. So I will be writing a different name, Snowflake Data Pipeline AWS. And I will click on create bucket. So this bucket is only limited to you. So once you are creating any bucket in a AWS account, then that bucket need to have a complete unique name for any other buckets that are created over AWS. Your bucket needs to have a complete different name. So this is my bucket, which is Snowflake Data Pipeline AWS. I will go inside this bucket, and in this, so this bucket, you can simply think of a Google Drive. So when you go to Google Drive and when you upload something, so let's say you have a folder in Google Drive, and in that folder there is a file. Now, if you want to send that particular file to a person, what you do? You go and you click and you copy the link and you send it to your person. Same like this, S3 is there. So now in S3, each and every file that you drop inside S3 bucket is independent, which means that it is not dependent on any folder or anything. If I want to give a particular file to any person, I will simply copy the S3 URI of that and I will be sending to that person. So now I will be clicking on upload, and I will be clicking on add files, and I will add a file which is blinkit.csv. So this is the file that I want to load, and now I will click on upload. So it is basically uploading the file. Now I am giving you this file in the chat section. You can easily find and you can download it. If you check the chat section, the file is there. So, okay, so this is my bucket. So my bucket is created. So this is my Snowflake data pipeline AWS bucket, and this bucket has blinkit.csv. So my task is done. Now, if you see, this bucket region need to be same as your Snowflake region if you want to set up a automation that every day, if any file else than this comes into this bucket, I want to load it into my table that I will be creating in Snowflake. But right now we have only done one step, which is we have created a bucket and we have loaded a file. Okay. Now the next step that we are going to do is we have to go to AWS only, and we have to click on IAM. So we have to write IAM and we have to go to IAM. Okay. So IAM stands for Identity Access Management. So let's say you have your AWS account, and that AWS account is yours. You have your own files, you have your own things, or you can have your own company's data. Now, IAM is a kind of person in AWS that will say that any person who wants to open or access this account need to be a registered person and need to follow the guidelines before accessing anything in my AWS. So IAM is basically identity access management. Let's say there is a company X who has all its data stored on AWS. Now 100 employees are working in in that company. So now if that company wants to give access to any of the 100 employees to their AWS resources, then they first have to create a role for that person in the IAM dashboard. Once they will create a role of that person, they will assign all the things that a person can do. And then with that role, a person can log in and can work on AWS account. So right now, we want to connect our Snowflake with our AWS account. So now, first of all, to connect with Snowflake, my AWS account, I have to create a policy. So policies are basically the kind of instructions that need to be followed for a particular role. So when you create a role, you select some policies so that those policies will be your policies and you can do those things in your AWS. So now same like this, when I have to create a connection between Snowflake and my AWS account, the first thing that I have to create is I have to create a policy, and that policy I will create for my S3 bucket. This policy I will be creating for my S3 bucket. Once I will create this policy for my S3 bucket, this policy will say that I can do anything inside my S3 and I can use my S3 bucket externally for all other Snowflake accounts or any accounts. So I'll be simply clicking on policies and I will be clicking on create policy. So if you see, I have clicked on create policy, and in the create policy, I will be selecting JSON. Once you will be selecting JSON, what you have to do is, so I'm giving you a URL here. I'm giving you a URL here. You have to simply go to this URL. You have to simply go to this URL that I have given in the chat, and you have to copy this much from this curly bracket to this curly bracket. You have to only copy till, or you can say before trust relationship from version. You have to only copy this and you have to go to your same policy editor and you have to paste it here. Now, what I'm doing here is I am just giving or creating a policy that will help my S3 bucket to be accessible at Snowflake or at any other platform. So I will be simply writing it here. I'm telling you in very simple words. Now, two things we have to change. Two things we have to change. So I will go to my S3 again. I will go to my S3 again. And inside my S3, the bucket that I have created, which is Snowflake Data Pipeline AWS, I will click on copy. I will just right click here and I will click on copy, and wherever this bucket is there. So see, this is the bucket name. So I will replace this bucket name with my new bucket that I have created. And same like this, I will replace this also with my new bucket name that I have created. And once you are done this till here, you can simply click on next. And you can give a policy name as S3 full access policy. So if you see, this is allowing you S3. So you can list and you can read data from S3 with the policy. So the policy that you have created is limited to list and read data from S3 location. And this is the policy name, and I will simply click on create policy. Now my S3 policy is created, and this policy will help me to set up connection with Snowflake. Okay, now once I have created the policy, I have to create a role. I have to create a role, and that role I will be using for setting up the connection, because I told you that if you want to set up a connection from Snowflake to your AWS account, you need to tell Snowflake that this is the role that you have to use, and this role can help you to access AWS bucket for the pipeline creation. So simply I have to go and I have to click on role, and I have to create a role with the same policy that I have created, and this particular role I will give to Snowflake, and Snowflake will have all the access over my S3 bucket. So I will be clicking on create role. In the create role, I will be selecting AWS account here, and I will click on next. Once I will be clicking on next, I will be selecting or searching my policy that I have created. So I have created a policy which is named as Snowflake, or if you can say S3 Snowflake. So this is not the policy. Let me see the name. What is the name of the policy I have given? I've just forgot. Anybody? What was the name I have given to that policy? I think S3 Snowflake policy was the name. Yeah. So I'll be selecting this and I will be clicking on next. And I will give it a role add name as S3 AWS, or you can say S3 AWS Snowflake connection. And I will be simply clicking on create role. Okay. So now I am 90% done from the from the AWS side of it. I am 90% done. So I'll be selecting my role, and the role name I have given as Amazon, or you can say S3 AWS Snowflake connection. This is my role. And if you see here, there is a ARN. Why we have done all this task? Because we have to use this ARN in our Snowflake to set up a connection to directly take data from S3. What's the use of Snowflake? See, Snowflake, if I think you have joined late, so Snowflake is a data warehouse which is used to analyze the data, which is used to do machine learning, which is used to which is used as a data sharing platform, and it's a kind of cloud-based solution. And it runs on three cloud providers: Amazon, Microsoft, and GCP. So again, this is a 1 hour session, so I cannot explain you everything, but I'm teaching you those things that you can understand. Okay, this is the process. Okay, so I will be stopping here and I will be going to Snowflake now. So I will be going to Snowflake now, and this is my Snowflake home. I will be simply clicking on this plus sign and I will be clicking on Python worksheet. So I will be simply clicking on Python worksheet. Once I will go into Python worksheet, I have this worksheet option. So if you go, once you will click on worksheet and Python worksheet, you will see two options here: databases and worksheets. So these are the databases which are available in Snowflake for now. And this is some sample data which is available in Snowflake. And Snowflake, you can understand, same like your SQL editor. See, the main use cases of this integration is because every company has some external sources of data, and they want all that data to be sitting in the under Snowflake data warehouse. So they have to do this integration multiple point of times. Okay, so I will be clicking on worksheet and I will be clicking on plus and I will be selecting a SQL worksheet here. And once you will be selecting a SQL worksheet here, once you will be selecting a SQL worksheet here, then the thing that you have to do is you will see a page like this. You will see a page like this. Everybody is done till here. Everybody is done till here. Okay. Now the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to set up a connection in Snowflake. So to set up a connection in Snowflake, first of all, I have to create a warehouse. So in Snowflake, as I told you, so try to understand, Snowflake is a cloud-based platform. Now, if we want to learn anything in the Snowflake, or if we want to work with anything in the Snowflake, if we want to run some queries, or if we want to do any operation, we need to have a machine with us. Or we need to have a machine on Snowflake which can run, which can process the things for me. So for that purpose, we create a warehouse, a small warehouse in which I can do these small operations like writing a query, set up an integration, and loading some data. So for that purpose, if you see, you are seeing account admin here, and you are seeing a warehouse. This is compute WH. So this is the smallest warehouse, and this is mostly used for learning basis. So I'm using very small warehouse which has very small resources, less RAM, less CPU, and it can help us to run our queries. Now, once I have done this, I will be selecting here a database. So I will select you to choose a database as Snowflake, and this work is done. Now, simply what I'm going to do is I will be writing create database, and database that I'm going to create will be prod, or let's say my new DB. So inside the Snowflake, I am going to create a database. So database is my, see, you can use Snowflake also. I am trying to create a new database. So I will create database my new DB. So if you see now, as soon as you have created, my new DB will be able to show here. And inside this database, I will be creating a schema. So create a schema. And in the schema, whenever you create a schema, you have to use the database name and the schema name. So I will be taking a schema name as prod. So schema is basically a kind of a logical representation of your data. Like, think of it like this, that you have a particular database, and let's say inside that database, there are 10 tables. So now schema is basically telling you that how those 10 tables are connected with each other. What kind of primary key and foreign key relationships are there, how they are connected. So that's why we create a schema. So right now we have a database also, and we have a schema also. So our database and schema part is done. Now the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to create a file format. So the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to create a file format. Create a file format. Now, why I am creating a file format? See, if you want to load a CSV file, if you want to load a CSV file from S3 location into your Snowflake, if you want to load a CSV file from the S3 location into Snowflake, then what you have to do? You have to first of all define the format of the file that you are going to load, which you are going to load from the external S3 location to your Snowflake account. So the first thing that we are going to do, we will be creating a file format. So I will be writing here create or replace file format. So this is the normal command. Then I will give the file format as Blinkit CSV format. So this is the name of my format. Now I will give the type. So this is basically a CSV format. Yeah, I'm recording this session. Now I have to give field delimiter. I have to give field delimiter. So what is field delimiter? So field delimiter is basically if I have a comma separated file. CSV is a comma separated file. So I have to give a delimiter also. So my delimiter will be this particular comma, because I have a file which is comma separated. Now I will give other variable which is skip header. Now why I am giving skip header? Because I don't want to have my first row of CSV file loaded, because first row of CSV file will be column names. So that's why I want to skip one row. So skip header will be 1. I want to skip the first row. And finally, Finally, if you want to give one more parameter, which is empty field as null. So this parameter we give when we want to have our empty field given as a null value. It is not like pandas prints exactly. It is bit different. Pandas is a pre-processing tool and that is mostly related to Python. So this is little different. In Pandas, when you load a file, you already have the formats created. You just write to CSV and your task is done. Here it is different. So now I'm going to create a format. Okay, there is something wrong with the format. Let me fix it. So there is a comma issue. This comma is basically written in a different way. Let me quickly resolve it. I will paste it here and I will simply ask resolve error in this. So basically the error is this comma. So the thing is same, but the way it is written on Snowflake is little different. So I will be pasting this same thing here. The thing is same, only the comma is little bit changed. So if you see this comma is changed. Now I'll be creating this. So now my file format is created. Now I have a format created for my file that I have to load externally from S3 to my Snowflake. Okay, so once I have created the file format, the second thing that I have to create is I have to create a integration. So I have to create a storage integration. So if I want to integrate my Snowflake with my S3 bucket, if I want to integrate or connect my Snowflake to my S3 bucket from where I have to get the data. So first of all, I have to create a storage integration. So I will be writing here, create or replace storage integration, and I will give a integration name as S3 S3 Snowflake integration. And after that, I will give the type. So whenever you are creating a integration or a storage integration, you have to give type also. So let's say if you are taking data from a external resource, which is S3 here, external, then you have to give the type as external stage. Now what is stage here? So stage is basically the landing zone. So let's say if I want to take a file from my S3 location into Snowflake. So first of all, before going to the table, that file will be landing on Snowflake in a stage. And right now we are using an external file. So our type is external stage. It means that whenever this integration will be set up, once this integration is set up, I will be able to get my Blinkit file from my S3 location into my Snowflake. But if I want to create a table of it, I have to write extra steps. But first of all, I'm trying to just create a integration. So I have given the stage as internal stage, and now I have to give the storage provider also. Like if you are using a particular data from different storage, then you have to give storage provider also. So our provider is S3. Our storage provider is S3. Now I will be giving enabled is equal to 2. So my integration is enabled. And after that, I have to give storage AWS role ARN. So I told you that whenever why I have created this ARN. So if you see here, why I have created this ARN, this connection, because without this particular ARN, you will not be able to access S3 from your Snowflake. So you have to give the correct ARN, and for that you have to create a policy first. then you have to create a role first. So if you see, I have given my ARN that I have created, and finally I have to give the storage allowed locations. Storage allowed locations. Now in the storage allowed locations, I will be giving the S3 bucket that I have. So my S3 bucket is what? My S3 bucket is Snowflake Data Pipeline AWS. So I will be giving here this as S3, and after this two, you can say slashes, I have to just give my bucket name and slash again. And I have given my S3 location as well. So I have given my S3 location also because I don't want to give all buckets. I am only going to give access of a particular bucket. So I have given all the things, and now I will simply click on create. Okay, there is some problem. Storage allowed locations. I think that is fine. This is the only location. Okay, I think there is some type error. Okay. I will quickly resolve it because if I'll resolve it by visualizing, then it will take time. So I will resolve this error. Resolve this particular error. So if you see, the quotes was the problem. So we have to use a bracket here, a parenthesis here. So everything will be same, only the things will be inside a parenthesis. So now I will simply click and create it. So if you see, my integration has been created, which means now my S3 is connected with my Snowflake. So my integration is created. Now, as soon as my integration is created, I have to allow this integration also in my S3 account. So I will be simply writing describe storage integration, describe storage integration, and I will write the name of the integration that I have created. Once you will be describing this storage integration, so see, okay, position DESA storage. Okay, sorry. So yeah. So now once I will be doing this, or once I will be describing my integration, I will get two things. So if you see here, I will be getting a AWS IAM user ARN. So this ARN is required because from here also I have to connect with S3. So S3 configurations I have written here. But Snowflake also has given me a kind of ARN by connecting with S3. So this ARN I have to use from Snowflake to S3. So two things I have to use. One is the user ARN, and second is the storage AWS external ID. So once you have created this integration, you got a external ID and you got a user role ARN. Now these two things are very important. And now where we have to use these two things? So simply go to your Snowflake, simply go to your connection, sorry, simply go to your role. So this is my role. And in this role, simply click on trust relationships. And inside the trust relationship, click on edit trust policy and go to my configs and files doc and simply copy this trust relationship things from here till here. Once you have added this much, copy it and go remove everything and paste the things here. And in the place of AWS, copy this particular value. In the place of AWS, copy and paste this particular value. So I will be adding this particular value here. And in the external ID, try to have your AWS external ID. So this is my external ID. So I will be copying this property value and okay, let me check. I'm the same thing. So yeah, this is the external ID. Okay, I have copied the correct thing. I will copy it and I will go here and I will paste it. Once I have pasted it, I will be clicking on update policy. Now the whole setup is done. Now you have done the whole setup. Now your S3 is fully connected to Snowflake. Now the next thing that you have to do is you have to create a staging layer. A staging layer is basically, see, right now you have created the integration, you have done the storage integration, but now the next thing that I am going to do is I want to load my data into a stage, or I want to load my data into Snowflake, that Blinkit file that I have uploaded there. So for doing that process I will write create or replace stage. So stage is basically the landing location of the file which is in S3. So I will write create or replace stage and I will be giving it a name as Blinkit stage. And after this, I will be giving the URL. So URL will be same URL, copy from here. And after that, I will be giving my storage integration that I have created. So storage integration. So this is my storage integration and this is named as S3 Snowflake integration. And then I will come down and I will give my file format also that I have created in starting. Because I am loading a file now from S3 to I have to give a format also. So file format is Blinkit CSV format. So all things are done and now let's run this. Now my data is loaded from S3 to my Snowflake account. If I want to check, I will simply write list at the rate the stage name that I have created. And once I will run this particular command, you will be seeing here, okay, failure using stage area, US ARN, because no identity policy. Mhm. URL is correct. Storage integration is S3 Snowflake integration. File format is Blinkit CSV format. So everything is fine only. Okay, so it is telling me failed to using stage area cause Snowflake is not authorized to perform S3 list bucket on resource because no identity policy allows S3 list bucket action. I have already updated the policies. If you see here, Snowflake trust policy is always already there. Let me copy the things once again in a correct manner. So IAM user ARN is basically this value. This value we will copy and we will paste this value here. And the second thing is external ID. So external ID also I have copied and I have pasted it here. Why this is happening? Let me click on update policy. Okay, let me do it again. So Snowflake data pipeline AWS store URL is fine. Blinkit stage. Okay, let me use it. Stage area Blinkit stage created. Okay, so there is some problem because policy I have already created, and in that policy I have assigned a role also. I think I have selected the wrong role while creating it. I think that is something which is happening. Let me check. Okay, so no worries, as we have only 5 minutes. Okay, so once you will do this thing, if you have like, I think I have messed up with the name. The process is same. I have messed up with the name or some kind of you can say error while writing or pasting the values that I have shown you. So if you'll do in the correct process, you will be seeing in the Blinkit stage that a whole Blinkit file will be uploaded and will come to the Blinkit stage inside the Snowflake. After this, the final step that you have to do is you have to create a table, and table creation will be simple, like create table, and table name, let's say, is Blinkit. And inside this table creation, you will write all the columns that are there in your CSV file in your S3 bucket, and you will create all those columns and you will give the data type. Let's say I will give example Blinkit store, let's say string, if this column is there. Now same like this, all other columns I will give and I will define, and I will create a structure for storing my data that is landed here. Once I have created the whole structure, the final command, the final thing that I have to do here is I have to copy this data into my Blinkit table which is present in the stage. So I will write create or replace, or simply I will write a copy command, copy into Blinkit table, the table that we have created, copy into Blinkit, and I will write from where? From my stage that I have created. So from Blinkit stage, and from Blinkit stage, then I will give the file format. So file format is basically the uh, Blinkit CSV format that we have created. And finally, the pattern of the file that you want to load from that particular S3 bucket. So you can give the pattern as S3 pattern. So you can give it like dot star, and you can give that there will be in the pattern there will be Blinkit mentioned, and along with Blinkit there will be, you can say, CSV will also be mentioned, like dot CSV. So I have given this whole format, or you can say pattern. We have to give a pattern because it has to understand that from the bucket which file to load. So we have to give a pattern like a CSV pattern, and that's all. Once you will run this command, your file will be in your table. Why I am not able to do it? Because I have done some mess here. But if you will follow the same process that I have given you, you will 100% will be able to do it. I am running out of time because I have to complete it anyhow by 9 p.m. So I'm leaving it. But yeah, this is the whole process. Now, once you will use this command, you will see the data from S3 in your Blinkit table. You simply write all the commands using SQL after that. So that's all for the class today. And thank you so much all of you for joining. And yeah.